Hello! Today we bring you the weekly Good News Roundup to tell you about what's going well in the world. First, a revolutionary Swiss water battery that will become one of Europe's main renewable sources of energy. Then, life-saving drugs descended from the sky in England, and the unlikely return of a Canadian rockstar's guitar after half a century. We look at how virtual reality is managing to replicate exercise, giving similar physical effects to the real thing, and a breakthrough in understanding whale song. It took 14 years to complete, but Switzerland has finally activated a vast water battery that has the same capacity for storing 20 million kilowatt hours, roughly the equivalent of 400,000 electric car batteries. The green battery will become one of Europe's main renewable sources of energy. It stores any excess electricity from renewable sources. The system uses two large reservoirs of water located at different altitudes. When the water pumps from the lower leg to the upper leg, the battery is charged. And when the direction of the pump is reversed, the flow of the water turns a turbine that generates hydroelectric power. The battery can generate vast quantities of energy, enough to power around 900,000 homes. Britain's National Health Service will start using drones to fly chemotherapy drugs to cancer patients on the Isle of Wight, cutting delivery times from 4 hours to just 30 minutes. Drones will transport doses from Portsmouth on the mainland to the hospital on the island. The drones will be able to carry up to 20 kilograms of doses, and each delivery will replace 2 car journeys and 1 hovercraft or ferry journey per delivery, reducing carbon emissions as well as speeding up the process. Some chemotherapy drugs have a short shelf life, so the new delivery method will offer a better option for cancer patients living on the island, many of whom have previously had to travel to the mainland for treatment. Cancer patients in England could be the first in the world to benefit from the new delivery method, according to the government.
It's clear the pace of change and improvement is only accelerating as our fantastic staff seek to make the most of life-changing advances to improve patients' lives.
Back in 1961, $400 was a lot of money, but that's what the Canadian 18-year-old Randy Bachman needed to buy his dream guitar, a 1957 Gretsch, and he worked several jobs to get it. Now a music legend, he went on to write hits such as American Woman with the famed guitar, and was devastated when it was stolen from a Toronto hotel 46 years ago. He never stopped looking.
This guitar was magical. It was my tool, my hammer to make songs and make music and make money.
Luckily for Bachman, one of his Canadian fans is something of an internet detective and spent hours scoring images of the same model until he managed to track down the exact guitar thanks to a unique mark in the wood grain. It belonged to a Japanese musician by the name of Takeshi, who had bought it at a Tokyo store in 2014 without knowing the story behind it.
俺たかだか8年所有して弾かせてもらって、それで今返すだけでもめちゃくちゃ寂しいじゃないですか。でも彼はずっと46年ずっとその寂しい思いずっとしてたわけで、それをなんかこうそろそろ誰かその。
In exchange, Bachman gave Takeshi an almost identical Gretsch guitar, made the same week as his own.
I'm probably never ever going to take it out of my house again. It's going to be locked up forever and nobody knows where I live. So it's really a special guitar. It made my whole life.
Some great news this week for those that need to exercise but can't, or simply the lazy ones. A study by a group of researchers in Japan suggests that immersive virtual reality exercise has similar effects to the real thing. For many people, such as patients with reduced mobility or people with neurological or physical disorders, exercise is not or was not an option. And this is what makes this finding extraordinary. In the Japanese trials, participants watched themselves run for 30 minutes from a first-person perspective, and their heart rates increased and decreased with the virtual movements. After the workout session, their neural benefits, such as reducing stress and anxiety, were the same as those that take place after real physical activity. The potential of immersive VR for clinical purposes could be life-changing. Whales are exceptionally clever creatures. They sing to communicate, locate food, socialize, and find each other. Whale song may be, in fact, the most complex in the animal kingdom, and is especially fascinating to marine biologists who haven't been able to decipher it. But researchers at the University of Queensland have made a breakthrough. They have found that humpback whales can learn incredibly complex songs from whales from other regions without simplifying or leaving anything out. The researchers hope that the results will provide a model for further study of the evolution of cultural communication in animals and humans.
Whales are learning from each other. Even if it's really, really complicated, they can copy the whole thing. It's this huge, amazing, rare phenomenon. We don't see this level of cultural exchange outside of humans.
If you enjoyed this Good News Roundup and want to hear more, let us know in the comments and share our stories with your friends. And remember, it can be hard to find among the headlines, but some news is good news.